just like that, or we've never had that power before. Anyway, all right.
Still.
Oh, he's like, well, no, because I have just as much power. I can unmute myself. Go ahead, Ed. You had a question. Go for it.
No, I was just going to say that I still have the space key, that I can still override your mute.
Yeah, but usually once we get the class going and you step away from the screen, most people don't have the quick draw to come on up here and da-da-da-da-da. You know, as instructors, we've always got the problem child, just like every teacher does. But I'm very lucky I don't have problem children in my classes, which is pretty cool, at least online. But you know what I'm saying here. All right, I'm gonna set up my music and get us started here. Let's see. How's the sound, everybody? How are we doing? You can hear me? We're good? All right. Hopefully I won't give you too much vertigo because I'll be changing the camera angle quite a few times. And you know, this is called Fix Your Feet. Welcome to Fix Your Feet. My name is Stacey Lei Krauss, and I've been helping people fix their feet through fitness since 1999. Okay, so let me begin by letting you know, telling you all that I'm not a podiatrist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physiotherapist, I'm a fitness chick. But in the same way, fitness professionals help you to fix your back, fix your neck, lengthen your hamstrings through movement. This is how I approach feet. And it began in 1999 when I learned, wow, people don't know how to use their feet. People are disconnected from their feet. And it's because I think we love our shoes. We love our shoes. We typically don't notice our feet until they hurt, right? So then we have an entire world of people walking around with feet that hurt, putting orthotics in their shoes, buying extra devices to make their feet feel better, when in my opinion, you could get yourself at least 80% of the way there by simply exercising your feet. Okay, so that's called foot fitness. And it's a little bit weird and people are like, what, you do foot fitness? What is that? It's like the rest of your body. When you go to the gym to get your fitness on, you know, you train for strength, endurance, flexibility, mobility, agility, but usually not in your feet. Why not? Why are your feet not as strong as your core? That's my question. So what I'll be doing today is showing you exercises that are foot specific, by making your feet more agile, more flexible, more connected. You can make your feet, your connectivity stronger. If you're any type of athlete at all, meaning that you move your body, if you walk or run or hike or stand, you can make your feet a little bit more connected and reduce the pain in your feet as well. If you're a performance athlete, you can give yourself a performance edge by making your feet stronger and more agile. Okay, that would be minimizing the amount of cushioning and support and control that you have in your foot, in your shoe, I mean, and actually allowing your foot to do its job the way nature intended. There are 33 articulations in each foot. And if you're using a shoe and your foot is working like this, like a paddle, well, those articulations are not doing their jobs, right? And as a result, the joints get stiff, your muscles get weak. And you know what happens? Because our feet, and this is a big part of this class today, because our feet are the furthest point from our vital organs, heart and lungs, they collect toxins. Okay, so by stimulating your feet, we can enhance lymphatic flow. You can actually boost your immune system by working your feet. Oh, is that relevant right now? Well, maybe. So we're going to be practicing all of these things today, okay? And if you have an aha moment or an exercise that you need to write down, if something really hurts, if you find an exercise, wow, I really can't do this exercise, well, that would be a reminder that you need it, okay? I will also send anybody who registered just for this class today, I'll be sending you the link. You'll have access to this until Sunday night, so you can take some notes. I'll be sending you a handout. Any of my students, you know that you're going to have access to this video ongoing. If you want a handout too, I'll send you the notes, no problem. I'm here to help you, okay? So what do you need for class today? Well, first thing you'll need is a washcloth or a towel Okay, this one has been soaking in some warm water. So a cleansing cloth of some sort, you'll need one of those. I like to put essential oils into the bowl when I do it because it smells good and it makes me happy. So yes, we'll be cleaning our feet today. Is that weird? Maybe. Okay. And then you'll also need some lotion or salve or oil. Okay. The product that I'm using today, I wonder if you could see it. This is from Color Up Therapeutics. It's a very high grade CBD salve that reduces inflammation, antibacterial, antimicrobial. It's an amazing product that's made here in Colorado. What state am I in? And I do have a discount code on my website that will give you 20% off and free shipping. So if you're interested in that, I'll make sure I send that link, order it up. Otherwise, what are you going to use? Grab something from your kitchen. This is coconut oil, okay? Don't put anything on your skin that you wouldn't put in your body, right? Over the course of our lifetime, our skin will absorb 35 pounds of crapola. It's true. 35 pounds is a lot of weight, right? So don't put anything on your body that you wouldn't put in your body. So grab something from your kitchen that will allow you to slide your hands all around your feet. And then at the end of that, you'll want to put on a pair of socks to hold all that goodness in. So if you don't have a pair of socks, go get them now. I noticed that everybody just ran off screen. I'll just keep talking. I also want to show you an exercise, kind of a weird little exercise for anyone who has bunions. If you have a hair tie, Fiorella, any ladies who have a hair tie, right? This is all you need. It's like a 5-cent fix. So if you've got a hair tie, grab one. Who is this class for? I talked about it just a little bit earlier. Athletes who want a performance's edge, anyone who's got foot pain. If you have plantar fasciitis, you need to learn the self-massage sequence. You need to. I'm going to move this out of the way for right now. Let's see. Something else that you'll need, because we're going to be rubbing our feet for a little while, water. Okay, you'll be flushing toxins. You'll be releasing toxins through your feet and flushing your lymphatic system. Please drink a whole bunch of water today. I even put down my coffee to drink some water. How about that? All right. So I'm working with my iPad. I can't necessarily see everybody right now, but I'll make sure that I answer any of your questions by the end. Okay. All right, it looks like you guys are all set up. I'm going to change the screen. Hold on. I'm going down. Bum, bum, bum. Here we are. Okay, the first series that we're going to do, think of it as, this is so weird, think about it as the boot camp class for your feet. Okay, we're going to do some standing exercises. My cardio yoga people and Strong.Like.Silk people, you know a lot of these exercises. Let's practice together. I'm going to turn on some music because everything's better with music. Yep. Let's see. Thump, 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 thump. Okay, let's begin. So bring your feet just hip distance apart, okay? And find a number 11, so parallel feet. Lift your toes and lower. Lift your toes and lower. Now, I'd suggest bringing your hands together like this to your lower back and then drawing your shoulders back because there's a good chance you're looking down at your feet right now. Yeah? So if you're looking down and talking to your feet, that's a good thing. But draw your shoulders back in the meantime, right? Okay, let's go a little faster. Up and down. Up, down, up, down. So as you look down at your toes, folks, make sure you lift your pinky toe almost as high as your thumb toe. That would be a goal. You might have it today, you might not. That's all right. Just keep it going. You've got 8 like this, 7. Keep going, 4 more times, 3 more times. Now hold the next one up, hold it up. Okay, so you might already be feeling this in the top of your feet and your toes, yes? Spread your toes out as wide as you can, okay? And once you see what my toes are doing, then you don't have to look at the screen anymore. Look down at your own toes. Pull your big toes in and pull your pinky toes out. You want to create space in between all 10 toes. Do you have it, yes or no? Maybe. So we'll go lift and spread, lift and spread, lift and spread. Keep going, lift and spread. So when you're practicing this on your own, you might notice that you've got 1 or 2 toes with separation anxiety, right? I know. Well, that's because of the shoes that we've been wearing for the past, 22 years or 65 years, those little boxes that keep your toes all jammed up. So one fix for that, keep going like this, okay? Keep going with these exercises. One fix for that would be sticking your finger in between your toe, just stimulating the skin, okay? Just to teach them to separate. And they'll get smarter with time, okay? And we'll be doing that when we sit down. But that's kind of a good way to practice while you're doing this exercise, is just to say, hey, you guys, separate. Do I need to separate you two? Let's have 2 more like this, please. Hold the next one up and spread them out. Spread them out and spread them out and spread them out. And now relax. Say, ah. Pedal through your feet just a little bit. Pedal through. Go 1, 2, 1, 2. Just a little break. Okay, come on back. Flatten out your feet. Lift your toes up again. Now just tap your big toe down and up. So how's the success rate here? Right now, we're bringing your brain to the furthest part of your body. If your toes are not very smart, please don't be upset with them, right? What do we do when we have problem children? You give them more attention, right? You know that they need a little help. So stay focused on them, stay committed to them. Let's do the pinky toe. Tap, tap, tap your toe down. Just tap, tap, just tap your toe. Now the other toes are going to come along for the ride, right? But do your best to keep your ankles still and your feet still. The pinky, the thumb toe, the pinky, the thumb toe. Now for my athletes on this call, if you are unable to do these exercises, well, baby, you got to get your act together. If you are a performance athlete, you need to have control of your toes. Do you understand what I'm saying? High level training, tap, tap, hold. So your toes might be getting a little tired now. The top of your feet might be getting tired. You remember I said that this is the boot camp, right? Hang with me. Tap, tap, hold. Now hold all 10 toes up. Hold them up, spread them out wide. Now this is called a toe challenge. Your big toe comes down. Your pinky toe comes down. Your middle toes stay up. Can you do this? Yes or no? 4, 3, 2, relax, rock out. Ah, feels good, right? Roll in. So now we're moving your ankles. Out, in, out. Please keep going. Out and in. So we're creating some flexible strength in your ankles, because wouldn't it be terrible if you finally left your house, if you finally walked outside and stepped off a curb and rolled your ankle and sprained it or strained it? That would be a terrible thing. And those things happen all the time. So we want to just make sure that our body is functional enough to manage those oops moments. Okay, so rock and roll, out and in. Now, as you're practicing this exercise, folks, I'd like you to drop your hands by your sides and stand up tall. So stack your hips over your ankles, stand up tall, stack your shoulders over your hips, and lift your eyes up so that you're standing tall. So keep going with your feet, and then close your eyes. And with your eyes closed, just observe what you're feeling. And now hold a posture that's less comfortable for you. Please take a deep breath in. And then exhale a lot and settle into this space. Can we do it again? A deep breath in. And exhale a lot. And your body's saying, ooh, yeah, I need more of this. Let's do that one more time. Deep breath. Exhale a lot. Okay, now wiggle your toes in that position. Bring your feet back to flat. Now lift your right heel up and down, up, down. So this is called a foot fold. And my regular students know that I cue foot fold every day, all day in every single class. Our foot doesn't fold the way it should in most shoes. And this is really important for push-offs and landings and, you know, life in general. Hold your next one up, please. Hold it up. And now roll across your metatarsal heads. So a little bit of information for you. There are 5 bone heads in this part of your foot that we call the landing pad. Metatarsal heads, met heads. Play the piano with those met heads. Rolling side to side. You can imagine hitting each one of them. Okay, come back to center, please. Now tuck your toes. Tuck your toes under and then bend both knees. So roll down and rest on the top of your foot. It's a tough one, right? Okay, here's an option for you. You can turn your feet out and do the same posture, crossing back behind you. Okay, so either way, you're rolling down and rolling up. Let's take it down for 2 and up for 2. If you're on the hardwood floor, you might not be as comfortable as you could be on a mat or a towel. And I didn't tell you to do that. So sorry, right? Let's have 2 more. Okay, let's take the next one down and hold it down. Now, press the top of your foot into the mat. I know that's a tough exercise. Remember, boot camp. Hold for 8, press down. 6, 5, hold for 4 and 3 and 2. Come on up. Let's do the other side. Lift and down. Lift and down. Let's go a little faster, okay? Up, down, up, down. It's a foot fold. Just 4, 3. Now hold the next one up and then roll across your metatarsal heads. Now I know we have quite a few instructors, either on the live stream or coming in later. I don't necessarily suggest doing all of these foot exercises in the beginning of class because, you know, they don't burn a whole lot of calories and our students aren't as excited as we are right now to be exercising their feet, right? But introducing just a couple of foot exercises in each class, super smart. Tuck your toes under, please. And now let's roll down and roll up. Please keep going. Roll down and roll up. So if your feet are wide and you tuck your foot behind you and you keep your feet wide, that just might be a little bit more accessible, right? So you make the choice on your own. I'll have 2 more of these. Okay, hold the next one down, hold it down. So for the instructors who are coming in for this class today, these are great exercises for older adults. You would just give them a contact point, something to hold on to, right? When they're standing, if they have any balance challenges. Come on up, please. Okay, we've got 1 more exercise and this one's really important. Well, 1 more exercise standing. This one's an important one. Lift your toes up and spread them wide, place them down, and now grip the ground with your toes. This is a little suction cup grip, okay? And then release. So grip and release, and keep practicing and release. Now I wanna show you the difference between one foot and the other foot. So one foot you could see is gripping the ground like a little suction cup, and the other foot is curled under like a claw. This would be the big circle with a line through it. Okay, this is not what we're looking for. This is what we want. Now, close your eyes as you're practicing this exercise. Not only are your toes grabbing on and holding on, you should feel your long arch, the long arch of your foot lifting up. So if you have flat feet, this is how we'll begin to lift those arches. Flat feet are not a terrible thing. Flat feet is like having a flat butt. You know, you could build that up, right? If you want to. And if you happen to have high arches, this will help make them more responsive, right? Rather than rigid and stiff. The exercise is called short foot. And if you were to tell your podiatrist that you practice it, he'd be knocked over. He'd be like, how'd you learn that? And he might be a little bit worried because you might not buy the pills he might be trying to prescribe you, because you could fix your feet with exercise. Let's have 2 more. Did I go off on a rant? Let's hold this one up. Now just test yourself here. Just move your weight from side to side and see how grounded and rooted you feel, right? This is a great exercise. And if you hold here and continue to hold on with your toes, your long arch will get a little tired. So test yourself, test yourself. Yep, staying connected and relax. Nice work. Next position, we're gonna have a seat on the chair, please, right on the edge of your chair. All right, so right on the edge of your chair. And I like to talk about these exercises like when you're flying on an airplane, but I don't even know what to say about that anymore. Okay, so let's make a figure 4 first. So if you find yourself sitting for a prolonged amount of time, make that figure 4 and go ahead and just open up your hips so that you feel comfortable here. So put some gentle, slight pressure on the inside of your leg. You might even roll the flesh off your thigh just a little bit, okay? Thigh, but this is all about the feet. Okay, so now we'll point and flex and point and flex. So you can see if you're sitting at a desk for a long amount of time or sitting on an airplane or anywhere else that you're stuck on a Zoom call for a while, right? You could be working your feet at the same time. Okay, point your toes a lot, please. And now make little circles and see if you can make those circles more like a circle and less like a square. Okay, so keep it smooth and easy, smooth and easy. Now take them in the opposite direction, up and around, up and around, up and around. Very nice. And now flex your ankle hard. So this is called dorsiflexion. You can see the light is kind of bright here. Dorsiflexion, pushing hard through your heel and spreading your toes as wide as you can. Okay, so now we're just going to assist this a little bit. So wrap your hand around the top of your foot and help to spread your toes, right? So your toes are spread. So you're just placing your palm on those toes and pressing your heel forward. And then you can move your foot from side to side, just moving through your ankle, forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. Good, 2 more times. Nice, easy one, right? And then hold it and press the heel. 4, 3, 2, and relax. Let's switch sides. So it's kind of nice to measure when you first get into this figure 4, where is your knee? How do you feel? And then readjust and open your hip a little bit, right? I mean, when we're on a Zoom call, we've only got waist up, right? So you can exercise your lower body at the same time. This particular exercise will prevent you from being a tight ass. All right, so let's set ourselves up. Point your toe. Ed and Mary are saying, oh my God, she says that joke every single week. And flex and point and flex. Point, flex. Go a little faster. 8, 7. So are you feeling any clicking noises? Are you hearing anything? Just observe. It could be yes, it might be no. Keep your toes pointed, please. Okay, you want to make sure your ankle is kind of hanging off your knee, right? And make little circles. Notice sounds. Notice restrictions. We'll go the other way. So I can't see all of you right now on this screen, but I have one friend who's having a surgery very soon. Okay, and then I also know that you sit at a desk for a good part of the day. These are exercises that will increase your circulation. So point your toes a lot. And then flex your foot a lot and spread your toes. Okay, so these are just some assisted stretches. You know where you would get these stretches? If you take the time to go into physical therapy and the physical therapist is sitting across from you and says, okay, now point your toes. You could do these on your own. You can. Yeah. Okay, so dorsiflexing hard, pushing through your heel, spreading your toes and assisting that spread. Just hold for 4 and 3 and 2 and relax. Now take both feet down to the floor and take them hip distance apart. Yep. And lift one heel up and then lift the other heel up. So quick running in place. Okay, so what is the goal of this particular exercise? It doesn't feel too intense, right? Just keep going with this while I'm talking to you. As you're pressing your heel forward, really think about lifting it high, folding deeply, finding all 5 met heads. So if you notice that you're rolling over to your big toe or rolling out to your pinky toe, try to balance that. It's much easier to do when you're sitting rather than when you're standing, right? And then really push your heel through. Okay, now bring both feet down. This one's so good when you're at your desk all day. Lift your toes up. So dorsiflex your ankles. Okay, and you're gonna feel this all along the front of your lower leg. So lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, lower. Lift, lower. This is much more challenging to do when you're standing because you've got to balance. So you could just lift a little tiny bit and you're getting the job done. But when you're sitting, if you're really going to get the exercises, think about pulling your toes towards your nose. Let's have just 4 and 3. Now hold this one up. We're going to alternate. Tap, 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 tap. So if you decide, okay, I'm going to go work my feet today, you know, what could really work is just choose one song. Choose one song and just work your ankles and your toes for the length of that song. A song that you like, you know, a song that has rhythm so you could kind of move along to it. Are you still going? How does your lower leg feel now? Getting a little tired, huh? Mine are. Yeah, I told you it was the boot camp. 8, 7, 6. I like to do dorsiflexion or ankle flexion for about 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 to 3 minutes is going to give you a nice, good workout. Okay, ready? And relax down. Fantastic. Okay, so lift your heels. Lift and lift and lift and lift. You have 4 and 3 and 2, last time, and relax. Okay, so guys, I'm gonna be really honest with you. There's no particular order that you have to do these exercises. I do prefer doing the feet on the floor before the ankles up. I just made a little mistake, okay? But you can imagine after making your shins kind of tired, bringing your foot up and rolling through your ankle would be really nice, right? All right, okay, so you've had the boot camp class. Your feet are tired, they're exhausted, they need a little rest. So grab all your goodies and let's rub our feet, okay? Yep. Let's rub our feet. What does that mean? So get comfortable. I would suggest, so this is what you're going to need at this point. You're going to need to access the bottom of your foot for about 10 or 12 minutes. You might prefer to sit on the floor and stay cross-legged in a figure 4 like this, if that's more comfortable for you. Okay, so you can adjust so that you're sitting on the floor. You could sit on a couch. What I really like is sitting on the floor against a wall to keep your spine straight. So take a moment or two to get comfortable. Grab your cleansing towel, and we're going to work your right foot first, okay? Now, the thing about these exercises, they're really nurturing. So doing something, let's see here. So making it more of a ritual, right? That feels really, really good. You could practice this before you go to sleep at night. And in that case, I would use a little bit of lavender oil, right? Aromatherapy is always great. If you have plantar fasciitis, you should be practicing this first thing in the morning before you put your feet on the floor, because that's when your feet hurt the most, right? And you could use some peppermint oil or eucalyptus oil, something that's invigorating, something that wakes you up. Okay. Using warm water is really nice. It's very soothing. And, so you can make this as robust as you'd like in terms of giving yourself the self-care you deserve. Okay. So I've got some soap in here. I've got some oils in here. Smells really nice. Now you're going to take your cleansing towel and fold it up and then roll it into a little cylinder. Okay, so it's kind of stiff. Okay, now of course you don't have to follow this this order of kind of cleansing your foot, but it's nice. So you'll take this little cylinder, and the first place you want to scrub is that space between your malleolus and your heel. Now you can imagine, since I practiced foot fitness for 25 years, how many feet I've seen. It was never a plan. But this little spot on our foot is always dry. It's always discolored. It seems to be that place that's been forgotten. So if you're going to do some foot fitness, if you're going to start taking care of your feet, look to all of those places that have been avoided for a while. Clean feet are happy feet. Have you ever noticed that when you go and wash your car, suddenly when you're driving your car out of the car wash, it seems happier, like it drives better? I don't know, my car is that way. So I kind of feel like my feet are the same. All right, from there, now you're going to scrub each of your toes. Take one toe at a time, seriously. One little toe at a time. It gives you a chance to give each toe some attention, right? To actually look at the toe. Notice if you have any cuts. Notice if you have any, oh my God, I've lost my word. Each one of those little toes. Calluses. Notice if you have any calluses or dry skin. Okay. Now we're going to take that cylinder and scrub your landing pad. Give it a good scrub up and around. Now, part of taking your time and looking at each part of your foot is that you have an opportunity to see your foot with a different perspective. Okay, I'd like to kind of have you see your foot as a map to your body. Okay, so each of those little toes, look at their shape. They're the same shape as your head. Huh. And your landing pad that's all puffed up is all puffed up like your torso, like your chest. Not very much like mine, but so puffed up like your chest. Now let's scrub your long arch. Give a good scrub. Up and down and up and down. So your long arch is just like your long torso. It's pretty amazing when you take those, you kind of take a new look at it, right? And now we're going to scrub our heel. And you might notice that you've got some dry skin. Maybe your skin's a little bit discolored because you don't scrub it in the shower as much as you should. So your bony heel is just like your bony pelvis, okay? I promise this will all make sense in a little while. Okay. Then you can scrub the top of your foot because that's what everybody sees. And if you've got something really yummy around, that's what your dog's going to lick when you're done with this. Yeah. Okay, the last little cleansing exercise that we'll do right now is that you'll unroll your towel. And kids love this one. You'll make a little finger tent. Yep. And now slide your finger in between each one of your toes. So this is the area of your foot that tends to produce and hold the most bacteria. It's a dark space. It can be a moist space, when you're exercising and in your shoes. So if you have stinky shoes, you probably just need to clean in between your toes better. And if your mom didn't teach you to soap up your fingers and slide them in between your toes every time you shower, then you probably don't do it. So don't blame your mom for that one. I mean, She's got enough on her plate, you know. All right, so we could take this and put it away for later. And now you're going to take your salve, whatever you're choosing to use today, your salve, your oil, coconut oil, even olive oil, anything from your kitchen is awesome. And really slather up your feet a lot because you've got socks to put on when you're done, right? Yeah. So the CBD salve, like I said, it has antimicrobial properties, antibacterial, and the best anti-inflammatory. So if you have foot issues, using even arnica, something with arnica, I think Ed and Mary use arnica oil. Is so great because if you're going to do the work, you know, you might as well get the benefit. Now, when you're doing this as well, be sure to slather that salve around your nail beds and on the tops of your toes. Okay, that's the area that kind of brushes against your shoes. They get a little bit dry. Okay, so up and down and all around. Now this first side, the first foot is going to be a little bit more technical. And when we get to the other side, I'll allow it to feel a little more groovy like a meditation, okay? Okay, so this foot choreography is going to move from the top to the bottom, from the inside to the outside, just so you know, instructors, okay? So what you'll do is take 3 fingers. Your thumb will be on the inside of you should be able to see your sole, right? The sole of your foot, bare your sole. Squeeze the tip of your first toe, and your index finger and your middle finger are just supporting your toe. So give a good squeeze. Squeeze your toe and then squeeze your next toe, number 2. And then squeeze number 3. And number 4. So squeezing the tip of your toe, stimulating reflexology points. And squeeze your 5th toe. So we talked about the shape, interestingly, being the same shape as your head, right? Number 4, number 3, number 2, and number 1. Please take a deep breath in and exhale a lot. Okay, now slide your fingers to the base of your toe, okay, right down to the base. You'll use the same hand. So if you're on your right foot, you're using your left hand. But you're going to start at the base and then just lengthen your toe and give it a squeeze at the top. And then your next toe. So it's like a long hamstring stretch, and then you can even make the sound. I know Mary's making the sound. I know. Come right over to the edge, give your toe a squeeze at the top, lengthen and lengthen, squeeze. And then we go back to the 4th toe, and your 3rd toe, your 2nd toe, and your 1st toe. Okay, take a deep breath in and exhale a lot. Okay, now you'll take hold of your 1st toe and your 2nd toe. You're using 2 hands now. And we're going to do toe gymnastics. So these are like splits. We're going to do this forward and back splits first. So support the knuckle, okay, on the back, on the top side of your foot, and spread forward and back and forward and back. And then you move on to the 2nd set of toes, forward and back and forward and back. Please keep going. So again, you've got this knuckle right there in between, right? You want to support that knuckle. Okay, just like if you were doing, you know, leg pedals, you would support your knee. This is the same. Okay, so just support the knuckle. So you've got straight toes moving forward and back. Forward and back, forward and back. Now, how far do you actually go? Well, there are a couple different things going on. You're getting what's called skin stretch. And if this skin is dry, it might feel uncomfortable, right? So make sure you apply plenty of lotion, and you want to get to the point that feels a little bit uncomfortable. You want to find the edge between discomfort and pain. Okay, so don't cross over to pain. And as you're practicing these exercises, long, deep exhales, because we don't want to be like this. We don't want to hold our breath. Oh God, this hurts. No, right? You just want to, and once you get to your pinky toe, then make your way back over to your big toe. I think I can do this a little bit, right? Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit once in a while. So we're making our way back, making our way back. So the reflexology points that are here in our toes correspond to your head and your neck. Oh, interesting. Forward and back, forward and back. They look the same because they are very similar. They correspond to one another. Okay, so now that you've made your way back, okay, so we've squeezed your toes, you've lengthened your toes, and then you've done the splits. Now we're going to do the wide splits. Okay, so take the tip of your toe, support your knuckle, and wide split, wide split, wide split, moving down to the outside of your foot, and then coming back, coming back into the center. Okay, so once you've done the splits forward and back, once you've done the wide splits, then we're going to, Mary loves this one. Are you ready? Make the sound. Now you're just allowing your toes to feel bouncy and resilient, right? Kind of flick them out, bounce them back. Now, if you're doing this for the very first time, your toes are not going to feel rubbery. They're not going to bounce. They're going to kind of go, meh, meh. But over time, you'll be able to pull them apart and feel how easy they just kind of bounce back. So nice. Now, give your foot a hug, take a deep breath in. Remember, so much of this ritual is self-care and self-love. So you actually have to hold yourself as if, imagine, you are loving on yourself. A little deep pressure gives your body the neurological sense of safety and security. All right. Now slide your hands away from your toes. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, spread your toes out wide. Relax. Deep breath in. Exhale, spread your toes. One more time. Deep breath in. Exhale, spread and spread. And this time, slide each one of your fingers in between your toes. Yep. Okay. So you might need to make some little adjustments. And at this point, just the tip of your fingers in between your toes like this. And take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, press down into your foot. And with your eyes closed, just observe without any judgment. Is this painful? Is this difficult for you? Did you clench up through your shoulders and your neck and your jaw? Try to relax all of that and just be. And let this be a reminder that these exercises are always better with a little lotion, a little lube, right? Because when your skin is dry, this won't be quite as comfortable. Okay, and now slide the base of your fingers to the base of your toes. Very nice. And then wiggle your fingers once you get in there. Okay, now this is so much fun and so interesting. So the palm of your hand will fit your landing pad. They fit together. Isn't that cool? Like a puzzle piece. Okay, so just press the palm of your hand into your landing pad. Okay, and now I'd like you to take your fingertips and slide them in between your metatarsals, right? In between those long bones of the feet, you've got this soft tissue. Okay, so just slide your fingertips in there. So you're hugging from the bottom side and pressing from the top. And you can do, it's called finger walking. You could do a little finger walking. You could slide your fingertip down and up in between those metatarsals, because you might have some scar tissue in there, you know, that is meant to be soft tissue, but sliding in there. So your fingertips have a little place to nestle, and then your palm fits right into your landing pad. Now take a deep breath in, exhale, and squeeze deeply. And deep breath in. Exhale, squeeze deeply. One more time, deep breath in. Give yourself a big hug. Okay, release your fingers gently. Very gently wiggle your fingers away and start to slide your fingers away from your toes. Now you'll use both hands for this next one. Take hold of your metatarsals, your long bones, number 1 and number 2. So 4 fingers on the top of your foot while your thumb is on the sole of your foot. And you'll do this, shift, shift, forward and back, shift, 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 shift. I'll move to the next set, shift, shift. These metatarsals, believe it or not, are meant to move independently. Can you believe it? Right. It's not one big paddle. So shifting those toes will help break up scar tissue and release fluid. Shift, 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 shift. So you move from the big toe down to the pinky toe, and then we'll make our way back up to the big toe. Okay. So this is my favorite exercise, this next one. Now you can use your knuckles on this if you like. You could use your knuckles and slide your knuckle up and down your long arch. Okay. And there's all different approaches, right? You can make like a V shape in between, like this. You could go up and then go down. You could wash across. And it kind of feels a little bit ticklish, right? So these are all different ways of stimulating your long arch. But if we really want to go deep, you'll need a little bit of flexibility for this. Roll up your sleeve. So this would be on your left arm, right? Because you've got your right foot up. And then you'll bring your elbow into your long arch. Now, if you're unable to reach this and you still want to get this really deep pressure, keep going, please. Just keep going right there. There are different ways that you can get in there. You can use a dumbbell. Let's see, can you see it? You could use a dumbbell on the floor and roll your foot. Okay, you can also use a tennis ball. Golf balls are a little bit too hard for that. I've got little Foxy's little tiny ball, which you can roll across your foot. There's a new product my friend Dr. Emily Splickle just released. It's called the Neuro Ball, and it has these little little bumps. The surface actually stimulates your skin. So I'll have a discount for you on my page too. I just got this in the mail yesterday. I'm super excited to play with it. But you know, I think self-healing is really not about all the extra stuff. It's about what you can do without product. And right now, this is just you and you. Just imagine you wake up in the morning. If you have plantar fasciitis, you can just rub through your feet and you're using your elbow in your long arch. Now close your eyes. The process is this. Sliding your elbow around, you want to seek out a trigger point. Okay, so you're seeking out an area that's painful. I know that's kind of tough. We don't like to look for areas of pain, do we? No, but trust me on this one. Okay, now once you've found that area that's giving you some trouble, stay with it and be with it and breathe through it. And with your eyes closed, imagine that this is a 4-year-old child throwing a tantrum, okay? And you're just with it and saying, you're okay. I've got you. Long, deep exhales. And when you're practicing this on your own, giving yourself 3 to 4 minutes with one trigger point can make a massive amount of difference in your energetic body, in your physical body. Okay, slowly release that space. And then just wash your hand up and down. Now, once you do find that trigger point area, it would be really wise if you have to work on it for a while, and for a while over the course of maybe 3 or 4 or 5 sessions, it would be wise to find a reflexology chart online. Okay, and remember, the left foot is different than the right foot because the points correspond with the left side of your body versus your right side. We'll talk about that a little more when we get to the other foot. Now, make a little fist, make a fist, please, and use your hand like a little gentle meat tenderizer, and begin plumping the area up and around your heel, up and around it. Okay, so we don't necessarily need to apply pressure onto the calcaneus because we get that every day, all day, right? You want to plump the little fleshy space above the heel that needs circulation. I like the term firm but kind. Firm but kind. All right. 2 more exercises on this side, and then we'll kind of have a groovy restorative session on the other foot. Slide your fingers underneath your Achilles tendon, okay? And then press into that tendon. Press and press and press. So we've got, in most cases, a lot of scar tissue in that space. It kind of feels like a haystack built on top of each other, right? You want to work through that. You might feel that it feels like a little bit like bubble wrap that you're popping, popping little sacks of water, fluid. We want to release that stuff, okay? So kneading through that space, and then you'll place your hands on your ankle and press into your Achilles with your thumb like this. Okay, and then you'll work up your Achilles and then back down, and then back up again, and then back down. And one more time, take it up, and then back down. And here's your last exercise. I call it a tube sock. And it's just cross friction, right? Myofascial abrasion is its technical term. And you're creating some heat here. So Juan Carlos, before your dance class, or guys, before you go out for a trail run, or if you're going to hit the court, this particular exercise is a great one because it will increase the circulation at your ankles before you get going. Now we will move through the other foot a little bit faster now that you've learned the technique, but I'd like you to check something out before we do that, okay? So come into the center, and if you're able to, maybe you'll just get onto the floor to do this, I don't know. But turn your toes out or your feet out so that you could compare one foot to the other foot. And just look at the difference. I wonder if you can see the difference in my feet right now. So as you're looking at your 2 feet, what are some words that describe the unworked foot? Like dry and dirty and dull and blue and stiff, right? Yuck. And then some words that describe the foot that you just worked: plump and smooth and happy and clean and circulated and alive. So it's kind of a no-brainer. Like, which foot do you want to be walking on all day long? Which foot is the healthy foot, and which foot is the foot that's got no love? Now that's the foot that you've been walking around on for 35 or 65 years. No wonder why they hurt. You ready to do the other side? All right. Now we're going to take it a little bit more as a ritual therapy. I'll tell you a little bit more about the reflexology points. We'll work with a little bit more breath, and I'll show you how it could really be a nice ritual that you practice for yourself and with yourself. Oh, by the way, before we go on, put your sock on that foot. Doesn't that feel so yummy right now? It's like it's cooking. It's cooking with all your lotion in there. These are my favorite little booties. I was in Japan for 2 days. It really doesn't even count as 2 days. It was like 36 hours. And the only thing that I bought when I was in Tokyo was a pair of socks. So they're my little happy booties. All right, here we go. So take your cleansing towel. Now, when you're practicing this on your own, of course, and if your water is really warm, you might want to cleanse both feet at the same time. Try not to skip this part, right? This is the part that everybody skips, like, I don't need to clean my feet, but it makes a big difference. It makes a big difference when it comes to self-care, you know, and self-love and self-attention that you deserve. So you make the cylinder, right? And then scrub. Now, we've had the luxury this morning, and in some cases you haven't, some people have left, but we've had the luxury of about, 70 minutes. We're going to be here, it looks like 70 or 75 minutes of time to talk about our feet. And in your real life, you might not have all that time. You can actually do this particular self-care series, the self-massage. You could really do it in about 2 minutes on each side, okay? You just have to know that the order of the exercises and move quickly and, with focus. So 2 minutes on each foot each morning before you get out of bed if you've got plantar fasciitis. 2 minutes before you hit the court or put on your trail running shoes, whatever your activity is. All right, so that little area from the malleolus to your heel. And now each one of your toes. Now, this is really silly, but, I also do this little series for kids sometimes. As you're looking at your toe, it's like you're facing a person, right? Because it's shaped like your head. You're saying, hey, hi. Hi, little guy. What's going on? Nice to see you, little toe. So actually having that moment where you recognize yourself internally. Footwork is, in some types of yoga, really critically important. Yoga is a pathway to self-realization, and knowing all your parts and all about them is pretty important, considering you walk on your feet all day long, right? Okay, now scrubbing your landing pad. So your toes correspond to what's happening in your head, right? Your pituitary gland, your pineal gland, your sleep-wake cycle, your eyes, your ears, right? Your sinuses. This particular part of your foot, your landing pad, the part that's all puffed up, corresponds to heart and lungs. Whoa, and that's really important these days, isn't it? Right. So heart and lungs, and especially now that we're on your left foot and your heart is a little bit more shifted to your left side. Your reflexology points in your left foot correspond even more to your heart on this side. Now we've got your long arch. Your long arch corresponds to your long torso, which is digestion and elimination. So we'll talk about that when we get to your deep pressure there. So give that a good scrub. Okay. And then your bony heel corresponds to your bony pelvis, right? So you could see as you're going through this series, if you have a point that's absurdly painful, right? Super sharp or not comfortable, checking your reflexology chart would be good, because this is a science, an interrelated science that you could become a part of and know more about your body. Okay, now we'll clean the top of your foot. And then finally, the last cleansing exercise, you'll unroll. Make a little tent, and then clean in between your toes. And this area corresponds to not only your throat, which deserves attention, especially now, but also your lymphatic system. So clogged and stuck and slow immune or lymphatic system can lead to a clogged immune system, right? So some symptoms of a clogged immune system: swelling and bloating in your fingers and your toes, right? Or feeling stiff or sore when you first wake up. If you have cold hands or cold feet, if you're finding yourself depressed or have brain fog, any of those symptoms can correspond to a clogged immune system, which we certainly don't need right now. So if you're having any of those symptoms, rubbing your feet might help you. So if you don't have extra time, we're going to slather up our feet right now, okay? So if you don't have any extra time in your day, well, where can you build in a self-massage for your feet? Maybe when you unwind with your kids at night after dinner, or if you're watching, you know, if you're binge watching some ridiculous series on Netflix, that would be a good time to rub your feet. You know, of course, you're not giving as much focused attention, but at least you're getting the physical exercises done, right? Before any exercise. So before your dance class, Juan Carlos, right? Before going out for a run, Kelly Plank, any of those types of things. Yeah, that would be a great time. Or after your workout, when your feet are tired, when they've done a lot of work for you. Okay, so now is the last time, now is the last round of these exercises. I'd really like you to go inside. Okay, so get yourself nice and comfortable. Have access to your foot. You can always open your eyes if you're unsure of the exercise, but spend some time with yourself right now. Okay, I'd encourage you to do that. So please sit up nice and tall. Wrap your fingers, your left fingers around your toes. Take a deep breath in and exhale a lot. And do this again, a deep breath in and exhale. And using your fingers on your right hand, squeeze your big toe and your second toe. You'll continue moving from toe to toe, giving yourself a good squeeze at the tip of your toe. Once again, considering the reflexology points that correspond with this part of your body. So blurred vision, ringing in your ears, headaches, brain fog, interrupted sleep cycles, tension in your jaw, migraines. So any of these symptoms you might be able to relieve just by rubbing your toes. Okay, once your fingers come back to your first toe, give it a long stretch, lengthen the stem of your toe. When you get to the end, a little squeeze at the top, a little squeeze, and a squeeze. Fourth toe, third toe. You're lengthening your throat, deepening your breath. Reach down with both hands, please. Toe gymnastics. So spread your toes forward and back, forward and back. With your eyes closed, you're feeling your skin stretching. It's giving your body feedback as to the position and location of each toe. So you're enhancing your neural capacities. You're enhancing, or in some cases, creating synapses, connections, so that you can connect better with your feet. Forward and back, forward and back. Once you made it to your pinky toe, let's work your way back to your big toe, forward and back. Once you've arrived at your big toe, then you'll spread your toes wide, the wide splits. Once again, feeling the skin stretch, such important feedback. And stretch, and stretch, and stretch. And now allowing your toes to feel bouncy, resilient, agile. You'll spread your toes and allow them to bounce and return, bounce and return. And eventually they'll start to just bounce and return to you. Yeah. What's really nice about that is if you're walking around with a pair of flip-flops in the summertime and you might have one toe gets caught, you know, you'll have that resiliency, right? Instead of stubbing your toe, it'll kind of bounce back for you. And that's what we're looking for in time, the agility and flexibility. Now take a deep breath in, please. Exhale and spread your toes as wide as you can. Create space. We hold a lot of tension, a lot of stress in the webbing of our fingers and our toes, right? Anytime in your whole life that you've ever had a scare, right? You've curled your toes, even on a micro level. So spreading the webbing, spreading your toes releases tension and stress and anxiety on a neurological level. Right? If you have chronic stress in your life, spreading your toes on a regular basis can help to alleviate that tension. Now slide your fingers in between each one of your toes and begin to press down with your fingertips into your foot. Now, if you're really well connected with your body, with your eyes closed, you might feel whoosh, a bit of a flush. You're stimulating lymphatic flow. Right? And your lymph removes excess fluid from your tissues, so it relieves bloating. Right? It helps the production of your immune cells, like your lymphocytes and your plasma cells. Right? You want to move that lymph fluid through your body. And as you stimulate your lymphatic fluid, it helps to carry that waste back into your blood rather than pooling in your feet. So slide the base of your fingers to the base of your toes and begin to wiggle your fingers. And then press down into your foot once again. And keep in mind with any of these strong movements, do it from a place of love, right? From a place of care. It feels very different than a boot camp class where you're pushing things hard because you feel like harder is better. This should feel the same as hugging a loved one. You are hugging a loved one. Now, bring the palm of your hands to connect with your landing pad, okay? Remembering that this is the area that corresponds with your heart. Now place each of your fingers, look at your dog right there, how cute. Mommy, please give me breakfast. So pressing each one of your fingers, I know Foxy's looking at me, she keeps looking at me. Pressing each one of your fingers in between your toes. Okay, so this is also an area of lymph release, okay? So important. So fingers in between your metatarsals. Now take a deep breath in, exhale, and squeeze deep. Hug your heart. And deep breath in. Exhale, deep hug, deep pressure. When you do this with love and care, your body neurologically does not know the difference between the fact that you're hugging your foot versus being hugged by someone who loves you. You're getting the same good response on a neurological level. So self-care is real and true, especially if you're not getting a whole lot of human contact right now. We've got to take what we get, right? Yep. Okay, slowly begin to back off this part of your foot. Wiggle your fingers away. And we'll reach down and shift those metatarsals. Now you're telling yourself, I am breaking up scar tissue. You are fluid. You are agile. Okay, you are flexible. You are resilient. It's the conversations that you have with yourself during a self-care routine, right? It's the words that you choose. So rather than saying, oh, you are so stiff, no, we flip that and we say, you are becoming flexible. You are becoming mobile. You are free, you're saying to your feet. Okay, now, this is the best part. You'll use your knuckle, right, or your elbow. Get in there. Now, if you are using your elbow and you're rounded over, please be sure to scoop your belly and protect your lower back, right? So rather than just collapsing and falling forward, make this active. Use your core. And with your eyes closed, you're sliding your elbow around and you're seeking out points of contention. Right. Now, as you might remember, this area corresponds to your long torso. This area corresponds to digestion and elimination of what you ate last night for dinner, and also of thoughts and emotions. So when you find an area that triggers you, stay with it. Breathe through it. When you find that painful place, rather than running away or rather than backing off, instead of fighting, begin to smooth that space out using your breath, using your love and intention. Long exhales. Got about 5 more seconds on that one trigger point. Slowly release this part of your foot, very gently back off. And use your hand to give yourself some love. You're okay, baby. Because that might have been a little painful moment for you, huh? All right. Now you'll use your knuckles as a very gentle meat tenderizer, increasing your circulation, increasing your oxygen to this space that needs it. So what you're doing with this self-massage is changing the energy flow in your body from the ground up. This is really powerful stuff. Such good work that you're doing. And then you'll slide your fingers underneath the base of your Achilles, the longest and arguably strongest tendon in your body, okay? So what you want to do is work through that any scar tissue or bubble wrap that might be there and get to your Achilles that will feel like a flat band, very thick, flat band. You want to give that a good squeeze. Lots of attention, right all the way down to your heel. By working on removing any limiting factors here, you can reduce the potential of plantar fasciitis. And now wrap your hands around your ankle and you'll use your thumbs into your Achilles and work your way up. And you'll feel the Achilles eventually branch off, right, to your calf muscles. And then that becomes a whole new class. And we take it back down. That becomes the lower leg class. And take it back up again. Back down. One last time. Take it up. Back down, and then a little myofascial. We call this the tube sock. Forward and back, forward and back. Yeah, so just some nice deep warming pressure. There you go. So you can imagine that it's possible to move through this sequence easily for just 2 minutes on each foot, right? Yep. You do a little bit every day, a little bit every day, and over time it will add up. Your feet will be happy. Look at this happy foot. Now here's the thing, if we were to look back at the other foot that you worked just a few moments ago, okay, it wouldn't look as pretty as it did before, right? It wouldn't be as bright. Let's put your sock on. It wouldn't be as bright or plump or vibrant. Working your feet this way is kind of like emotions, okay? But you would never say like, oh, I was laughing, but it didn't last very long, right? You know that laughter, even just for a few moments, will change your entire energetic system. So practicing a little bit every day, every morning, every night will change your feet. You just got to give them the attention they deserve. So whether it's the boot camp class, the seated work, the self-massage, take good care of yourself. These are your feet, you know? And now more than ever, it's time for self-love. So I hope you had a good experience. I hope you learned some new techniques, and I hope your feet are happy. If you have any questions, once I turn off this recording, I will answer any questions. You can actually reach out to me, Stacey, Stacey at Strong.Like.Silk.com. I'm happy to work with you, send you handouts with the sequence, whatever I can do to help you out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recording, but thank you so much for coming and joining me this morning or sometime this week, this month. Namaste.